Okay, so you've finally decided you want to give creatine a try, right? But almost immediately, you run into this massive wall of conflicting advice. You've got one guy at the gym absolutely swearing it'll make you go bald. Another is warning you that you're going to grow chest hair like a werewolf. And then someone else tells you your muscles are just going to fill up with water and look like big, soft sponges. Well, to cut through all that noise, we're going to look at the actual data from a crash test dummy who took creatine every single day for an entire year to see exactly what happens to the human body. Same dose, same routine, 365 days straight.
Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're taking a full year of real-world supplement data and translating it into actionable, no-nonsense insights. We are going to break down exactly what this stuff does, how to buy the right kind without getting ripped off, how to actually take it, and most importantly, what literally changes in your body after a full year of daily use. Here is our roadmap for today. We'll look at the science of ATP fuel, surviving the creatine VU, the loading phase versus daily dose debate, the one-year results, and finally, busting those crazy myths. All right, let's dive right into Section 1, the science of ATP fuel and what creatine actually is. Before we even look at the physical results, we really need to establish one key fact. Creatine isn't some sketchy, unregulated powder cooked up in a lab. It is a completely natural compound that your body already makes and stores right there in your muscles. It's basically just sitting there, waiting to be used as quick fuel every time you go into full beast mode, whether you're hitting a heavy squat, an explosive sprint, or a grueling set on the bench press. You see, when you lift, your muscles run on a very specific energy source called ATP, or adenosine triphosphate. But here is the biological bottleneck. Your internal ATP fuel tank, it's incredibly small. Seriously, it runs out faster than your motivation on leg day. And when those tiny ATP reserves are gone, your muscles simply stop producing power and they quit. And this right here perfectly illustrates how the supplement actually solves that bottleneck. Step 1, you supplement with creatine. Step 2, this literally increases the total amount of creatine stored locally in your muscle tissue. Step 3, because you have this expanded storage, your body can now produce more ATP on demand right on the spot. And step 4, that extra ATP lets you push more power and squeeze out a few extra reps. And by getting those extra reps, you force your body to adapt, which is exactly how you lift heavier and build more muscle over time. It's simply supplying your body with the raw materials to produce its own natural energy, just a lot faster. Okay, moving on to Section 2, Surviving the Creatine Zoo, which is our buying guide. Because let's be honest, if you walk into any supplement store right now, you are going to be ambushed by an endless, highly confusing wall of options. You'll see ethyl ester varieties, buffered types, tubs with these aggressive gigashad labels, and sparkly unicorn flavors promising you some magical, optimized edge for better absorption. Look, the absolute truth is, almost all of these fancy variations are just overpriced trash. Supplement companies love to stamp a flashy label on a tub, sprinkle in some really complex science-sounding words, and suddenly they're charging you double the price for a product that literally does not work any better. So that brings us to what I call the rule of one, your golden purchasing rule. Whenever you pick up a tub, just flip the container over and check the ingredients list. You want to see exactly one ingredient, just one, creatine monohydrate. That's the whole shebang. Standard creatine monohydrate works perfectly, it has absolutely zero absorption issues, and it definitely does not need to be artificially enhanced. If there's a whole paragraph of other stuff listed on the back, you are just paying a premium for useless filler. So save your money and stick strictly to the basics. Let's hit Section 3, Loading Phase versus Daily Dose, or what we can call the dosage dilemma. All right, now that we've bypassed all the marketing gimmicks and secured the right tub of monohydrate, how much should you actually consume to get those muscles fully saturated? Well, the data points directly to 5. 5 grams per day is the absolute golden number for the vast majority of people, and conveniently, that usually equates perfectly to a single standard scoop provided right there in the tub. Now, if you're a significantly larger individual, yeah, you might push it to 6 or 7 grams. If you're smaller, maybe a bit less. But what we found is that obsessing over mathematically perfect milligram differences is entirely pointless. Your muscles honestly do not care if you took 4.8 grams instead of 5.2. It's not rocket fuel where one little milligram difference is going to cause an explosion. It is all about simple consistency. Now, there is a fascinating, long-standing debate in the gym community on how to actually begin this whole routine. Because your muscles need time to absorb and saturate this extra creatine, you basically have 2 choices. You can speed run the saturation process with what's called a loading phase, or you can take the relaxed, non-loading route and just fill the tank slowly.
When we put them side by side, the loading phase means taking a massive 20 grams per day, usually split into 4 scoops, for about a week. Now, this does flood your muscles fast, hitting full saturation in just 7 days. But looking at that digestive impact, marathon scooping 20 grams a day can absolutely nuke your stomach. It is famously known for causing some pretty severe digestive complaints. On the flip side, the non-loading phase is just taking your standard 5 grams, just 1 scoop, every day from the very beginning. Yes, it takes 2 to 3 weeks to reach that exact same level of muscle saturation, but there are 0 horror stories for your gut. Both methods put you in the exact same biological state at the end of the day. The only real difference is how fast you get there and how much your stomach hates you in the process. For most people, that relaxed 5-gram daily non-loading phase is clearly the safer, smarter bet.
And when it comes to the time of day you take it, let's keep this beautifully simple. Timing doesn't matter. Just take it whenever you will actually remember it. So many people overcomplicate this. They try to time it perfectly like a pre-workout booster shot, but creatine doesn't work like a sudden caffeine hit where you feel it kick in 20 minutes later. Because it builds up and just sits in your muscle stores over time, it's literally always there waiting for you. You can throw it in a post-workout protein shake, mix it with water first thing in the morning, or even have it right before bed. The single most important variable here is just being consistent every single day.
Section 4. 1 year later, the results. Let's look at the physical changes after 365 days. So what's the ultimate payoff for all this daily consistency? Looking at the documented physical realities after our crash test dummies strictly followed that simple 5-gram daily rule for 365 consecutive days, the outcomes were incredibly positive, though very grounded in reality. First off, strength consistently increased. Now, it wasn't some overnight magic where you just wake up looking like the Hulk. Actually, it was the slow, steady accumulation of extra reps and extra weight without suddenly gassing out. That extra ATP let the muscles push just a little bit harder, and those tiny wins really stacked up over 12 months. Second, the muscles physically looked fuller and thicker. And this is a major point of confusion for a lot of people regarding water weight. Creatine pulls water directly inside the muscle cells, not under the skin. Because that hydration is intracellular, you do not look soft, bloated, or puffy. You actually look more solid and jacked. And third, recovery felt notably smoother. Bouncing back faster with noticeably less profound soreness, that is a massive win when you're trying to train consistently over a full year.
Finally, Section 5, Busting the Myths. It's time to talk about hair loss and werewolves.
To wrap up this explainer, we absolutely have to shine a light on the rampant gym bro misinformation that keeps so many people away from this perfectly safe supplement. And the number one fear that paralyzes